Hi everyone, in this tutorial we're going to learn the easiest web scraping library in Python. I'm talking about Beautiful Soup. We're going to learn Beautiful Soup by solving a basic project that consists in scraping movie transcripts. First, we'll install Beautiful Soup, and then we're going to learn how to get the HTML from a website, how to scrape a single page, and export the data to a TXT file. So let's get started. Now it's time to start scraping our first website with Beautiful Soup. So the first thing we're going to do is to import some important libraries. So the first library we're going to import is request or requests in plural. So this is the first library, and the second library we're going to use, it's called Beautiful Soup. It's from BS4 import Beautiful Soup. So in case you don't have any of those libraries installed on your computer, you have to open a terminal. In this case, I'm in PyCharm, so I have the terminal inside PyCharm. So I'm going to write pip install and then the name of the library you want to install. So you can open your command or your terminal or just inside your text editor or IDE and install this library as I'm gonna do it. So first BS4, so pip install BS4, then I press enter, and here it says that it's already satisfied because I have it installed already, but in your case it's going to install all the dependencies. So now I'm going to install requests. So I'm going to clean this first, and now I'm going to write pip install requests. So it's the same process. It's going to download the dependencies and install this library. So now we have to install one more thing, which is the parser. Beautiful Soup relies on a parser to get this HTML code. So the parser we're going to install, it's called LXML. So I'm going to write pip install, and I'm going to paste this, and this is basically the parser we're going to use. If you want to install other parser, you can do it, but we're going to do just a basic scrape, so it's going to be enough with LXML. So I'm going to press enter, and it's gonna tell me that it's already installed, and that's it. That's it for the libraries. So just a recap, Beautiful Soup is the name of the library we're going to use to scrape. In this case, it's the first tool, the scraping tool we're going to use to scrape a website. Now, request, this is basically how you send requests to a website, to Google, for example. So you send a request and Google is supposed to send a response. And that's where the HTML code comes from. But we need to use a parser because this Beautiful Soup doesn't have like its own parser, so we have to add it. And that's it. In the next video, we'll start scraping our first website with Beautiful Soup. In this video, I'll show you how to get the HTML from a website using Beautiful Soup. So as we've seen before in the theory of the basics of HTML, this website has like many transcripts of movies, and the structure of each transcript, it's what you see now on screen. It starts with the title. In this case, this is the movie example, Titanic. Now, then it has the description or the plot description. This is what the movie is about. And finally, and the most important thing, is this transcript, which is really long because it's what the actors said on the movie. It's the 2 hours or maybe 3 hours of the movie in text. So this is really important information if you want to do some other projects like sentiment analysis, or you want to do some NLP, or you want to train your machine learning model, anything you can do with this text information. But first, of course, you need to scrape it. So we're going to scrape, in this case, just the title and the transcript, because I think both are the most important information. But anyway, it's the same way to scrape the description. So now let's go back to the editor and let's write some code. So I'm going to start writing the name of the website. So I defined a variable which is website, and now I'm going to copy and paste the link of this website. So I just copy and paste it, and we have the website. Now we're going to send a request to this website. So we're going to write requests, and then we're going to write that get. So we're going to put the variable website inside this get. So this request is going to give us a result. So I'm going to write this result variable, and basically this is what we're going to get after we send this request to the website. So once we have this, we can get the text of this result by using the method text. So basically this is how you get text in Beautiful Soup. Just text, but I'm going to show you another way later how to get text too. So now we have the content because we have the result of the request and we have the text. So we can say that we have the content of the website. So I'm going to write the word content here. Now I'm going to define the soup. The soup is what we're going to get after we use the parser. So I'm going to write now here, where I'm going to copy Beautiful Soup, and now I'm going to write content. And now I'm going to indicate which parser I'm going to use. So as you remember, we installed LXML. So I'm going to write this LXML. Now what we've done so far is basically get the HTML code. So here we had the content of the website, and here we had to use the parser to get the code using Beautiful Soup. So now we can print this result. We can print this soup. So I'm going to write print and now soup and that prettify. Prettify is just a way to make your HTML code look nicer, good looking. So it's just for that. So I'm going to run this code and we're going to see the results. Now Python just printed the HTML code and we can see it below here on the bottom of the screen. So here I'm scrolling up to get to the top of this HTML code because it's really long, because as you've seen before, that transcript, it's really long of this movie Titanic. So I got here to the top and we can see the HTML code. And that's it. You just learn how to get the HTML from a website using Beautiful Soup. So we will continue with this tutorial in a second. I just want to let you know that I created a Python cheat sheet that covers libraries for data analysis, web scraping, and machine learning. You can download this cheat sheet for free using the link in the description below. So now we can get not only the code, but we can get the data that we want. Before we get into it, I'm going to show you just what we've seen before in the tree element that we've seen in just some minutes ago. So I'm going to write article and hopefully I'm going to find the HTML code that we've seen before, and it's here. So as you remember, we had before this code that I wrote you on screen, a bit bigger, but now it's in HTML code, and it's here, it's the complete code. So before I wrote just this part. So I wrote this article h1 and the p, I think, and also div that it's below. It's here with full script. So that's what you usually will find in real websites. What I did before, it's like an introduction. So you have to get familiar with this HTML code, but don't be afraid because we're not going to use all this HTML code, but we're going to go just to the part we're interested in. So I'm going to show you how to go to those nodes we want to get data from. So now I'm going to close this HTML code we printed and we're going to go to the website. So now we're here on the website, and to get to those nodes we'll have to right click and then click on the word that says inspect. So we have to click on it, and now we get the HTML code of that part. So for example, we inspected the title, the Titanic title. So we get this part. So as you can see, if I go down, it highlights other sections in blue. And basically it's how it works. It's really simple. So now if we want to locate an element, we're going to use that list that I told you before with those priorities. So if you remember, it started with ID, then with class names, then tags, and finally XPath. So now we have that class name. So we're going to start with this root that it was the root of our tree before, and we're going to locate it first. So I'm going to copy this main article, and I'm going back here to the code, and I'm going to write soup. Once we write soup, we can find elements. There are two options to find elements. We can use find or we can use find all. In this case, since I want to get just one element, I'm going to write find. So once we have this, we have to indicate the name of the tag of that node. So here the name of the tag is article. So I'm going to write just article. And now we have to indicate the attribute. So I'm going to write class and now equal to and now main article. So this is basically how we locate this section. Yeah, because this is the root, as I told you before. It's a way just to have a reference, because this is not giving us the title or the plot or the transcript. It's just locating like a reference for this data we're going to scrape later. So now I'm going to name this as a box. I'm going to say that this is a box, and it's gonna be my reference. So one thing that I almost forgot to tell you is this underscore. In Python, we have to indicate every time we write class here, we have to add this underscore, because in Python we also have classes. So in order to differentiate both, we have to add an underscore. It's just that, nothing more. So now we have this box as a reference, and we can now locate the title and the transcript. So first I'm going to locate the title. So to locate the title, you can easily go straight here, or let's imagine that it's not so obvious. So we can use one little trick here in the left, and it's this button. So I press here, and we can also get automatically the code hovering on the section we want. So here I'm hovering on the title, and immediately the name it highlights in blue here below. So I get here the H1 Titanic, and this is what we want. So here we have only the tag. We don't have a class name, we don't have an ID. So we're going for the tag, and it's the only data that we have. So I'm going to copy this H1, and I'm going to write here soup.find, open parenthesis, and then H1. And now to get the text, we write get underscore and text. And now we write the parentheses, and that's it. That's how we get that text in that H1 node. One more thing here that we can do is, instead of using soup, we can use the box reference just to exclude anything that is outside of that box. So now I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to name it title and then equal, and I'm going to print this so you guys can see how it looks like. So I'm going to write print and I'm going to write title. So now I'm going to print this and it should set Titanic. So let's see. Oh, here it's the prettify here. I'm going to run it again. So we're going to see, and yeah, it's Titanic 1997 full transcript as it's here. So everything it's okay so far. So we're going to continue to get the transcript. Now to get the transcript, we're going back to the page here, and now we follow the same method. We're going to click here on this button, and then we're going to locate this little box here, and now we get the code. So I'm going to repeat just one more time if you didn't get it. It's just clicking here, then locating the element, and boom, you have the code. So now we have this div with class name full script, and this is what we want. So now again, the priorities are IDs, then class names or tag names, and XPath. So now we have class names and there isn't any ID, so we're going just with classes. So I'm going to copy this full script and then going back here, and I'm going to duplicate this code, and then here I'm going to write transcript. So now we don't want h1, but we want, let me see here, it's a div. So now we write div, and the class, it's gonna be, yeah, full script. So this is the same structure that we followed before for title. I'm going to print this out. I'm going to write transcript, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to write this code now, and now wait. So here's the title, and now here's the transcript. But there is one more little detail that I just omitted. Here in get text, everything is okay. Everything prints fine here on my editor, but I just tried this in Excel, and when you pass this information into other thing that is not the editor, this gets really messy, this data. So the problem is that if you want to put this information in Excel or inside a data frame, there is no space between these lines. So we're going to avoid this problem with two parameters in the getText method. So we're going to use strip and separator. So I'm going to write first strip true, and then separator equal to space. So basically what strip does, it deletes trailing and leading spaces. So this means that if I have a word Python here with a space here and another space here, it means that this strip is going to delete this and this only in the beginning and in the end of the text. So only here in the start of the transcript here, and only in the end of the transcript here. So just in these two parts. But the separator adds a blank space, so it will replace a new line with a blank space. For example, right now between the second and the third line, you can see a new line between the sentence. You should see it in the word okay. If we include a blank space as a separator, you should see both of them in the same line. So let's run this script to see how the transcript will look with these changes we made. It's running now, so I'm gonna get to the top. And as you can see, the new lines were replaced with blank spaces. And that's it. In the next video, I'll show you how to export this data into a TXT file. Hey, hope you're enjoying this tutorial. If you'd like to master web scraping in Python by solving cool projects like this one, consider taking my course. There, we will learn pagination, infinite scrolling, weights, how to export data to SQLite, MongoDB, and more. For more details, check the link in the description below. In this video, we'll export all the data extracted into a TXT file. First, I'm going to delete that print. Also close this thing, So to create a file in Python, we use the with, and we write with open, and now we write the name of the file. In this case, let's name it titanic.txt, and now we have to write the mode. So there is write mode or there is read mode, but since we want to create a file, we have to use the write mode. So we open this and write W. So now we have to write as, and then I'm going to write file. So far we have with open this txt file, in write mode, as a file. This is like the name of this expression we wrote. I'm going to add here the C, so it's Titanic. Now we write file dot write, and inside this parenthesis we write the transcript. So I write transcript. We created a Titanic txt file, and then we name it file, and then in this file variable we just write the transcript. So as a result, we're going to get a txt file with the name of the movie and then with the transcript inside it. Here we can add one more thing to use this title variable. We can just add here an f string. I don't know if you're familiar with f string, but it's just like regular strings, but we can also add a variable. So here, instead of writing Titanic, we write title, and what we do is basically add a variable to this string expression. So before it was Titanic.txt, but now with this f string is title.txt, and the title name is Titanic. So basically this is like doing something like this. Let me show you in case you're not familiar. Title plus txt. Yeah, it's something like that. If you're more familiar with the plus sign, then maybe you can use the plus sign. But I'm using just here f string. But yeah, you can use the plus sign if you want to. So now I'm going to run this code and see the results. So now I'm going to run and see what happens. So everything run correctly. So this file should be created in the same directory where your script is now. So I'm going to here to my directory, and it's here. It's Titanic 1997.txt. So I'm going to double click on it, and inside it's all the text that we scraped. Congratulations! You just scraped your first website with Beautiful Soup. In the next video, I'll show you how to scrape multiple pages using Beautiful Soup. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. That's it for this video. I'll see you on the next one.